Most people believe that self-confidence is something we are born with. But what if I told you that it can be trained just like the ancient Norse heroes did? It sounds counterintuitive, right? They faced challenges that would make any of us give up at the first obstacle. But what can we learn from Thor, Sigurd, and other heroes about overcoming fears, failures, and achieving unshakable resilience? Their secrets could transform your life today in a way you might never have considered. Do you want to discover how to awaken this inner strength? Then you know what to do. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos, because today you're going to learn something that few know. The Norse heroes faced epic battles, not only on the battlefield, but also in their personal journeys. Today, we're going to explore how we can draw from their self-confidence and resilience to overcome our own challenges. Heroes like Thor and Sigurd lived in a world where every battle, whether physical or spiritual, was an opportunity for growth. They faced not only monsters and gods, but also their own fears and uncertainties. This is where we can learn from them. Just as Thor never gave up fighting, even against seemingly invincible foes, we too can adopt that warrior mindset in our lives. The inner strength they cultivated is something we can apply daily, whether in moments of failure or when things seem out of control. Now, imagine having Thor's resilience. He knew that his strength came not only from his muscles, but from his inner conviction when wielding the hammer Mjolnir. When problems arise, and they always do, you can face each one as a chance to enhance your warrior spirit. If Thor had been defeated at the first sign of weakness, he would have never earned the respect of the gods. Thus, we should use our falls to strengthen our determination, knowing that the next victory will be even greater. Interestingly, these battles were not limited to the battlefield. In fact, the greatest struggle was against themselves, the doubt, fear, and temptation to give up. It's a fight we all face at some point. On the hardest days, it's easy to succumb to discouragement. But Viking heroes teach us that great achievements come from persistence. Rather than fleeing, they faced their challenges head-on, and that's what made them legends. Reflecting on this ancient wisdom, we see that Thor, the god of thunder, is a classic example of how courage can transform seemingly insurmountable situations. He encountered adversities that appeared impossible to overcome, like his famous battle against the giant serpent Jormungandr, where he faced devastating consequences. Thor's courage stemmed not just from his physical strength, but from his unwavering determination. He understood that the greatest victories come to those who dare to confront their biggest fears. Sigurd, on the other hand, became legendary for defeating the fearsome dragon Fafnir. He didn't possess the size or power of a god, but his cunning and bravery allowed him to achieve the impossible. Sigurd didn't hesitate before a dragon that breathed fire and poisoned everything around. Persistence was key. Often, the courage we need isn't that of a muscular warrior, but rather that of someone who believes in themselves, even when no one else does. Sigurd shows us that true power lies in the mind and the ability to face challenges with clarity and intelligence. These mythological stories not only inspire us, but also remind us that heroes weren't invincible. They had fears, doubts, and faced trials that tested their self-confidence. When we confront our own dragons, be they work-related issues, personal life struggles, or emotional challenges, we can look to these Norse heroes. They teach us that, regardless of how strong the enemy might be, what truly matters is our ability to persist, trust in our potential, and keep moving forward. In modern life, we all face challenges that, at first glance, seem impossible to overcome. The difference is that instead of battling giants and dragons, our fights are against failures, insecurities, and situations beyond our control. Here, the resilience of Norse heroes comes into play. Imagine life as a battle where the enemy isn't always visible. Thor's resilience, never giving up even when he seemed defeated, serves as a perfect example of how we should approach failures. When a plan doesn't work out, we can view it as an opportunity to rise stronger, just as Thor always did. In today's world, this resilience translates to the ability to adapt and persist. Just like Thor always got back up after tough battles, we too can strengthen ourselves after each fall. A simple practice is to remember that each failure is merely a step toward success. If a project at work fails, instead of giving up, it's time to reflect on what could be improved and move forward. What differentiates a successful person from one who remains stagnant is the ability to rise, adjust the course, and continue fighting for victory. Just like the Norse heroes, you can channel this inner strength to move ahead. These principles of resilience are deeply rooted in Nordic culture. Viking wisdom teaches us that true victory doesn't lie in never failing, but in never allowing failure to define our path. In every obstacle, there's an opportunity for growth. By adopting this heroic mindset, individuals begin to view challenges as allies in building their mental and emotional strength. After all, what is life if not a series of battles to overcome? And by thinking this way, we can see that, just as Thor and Sigurd faced dragons and powerful enemies, the battles of modern life don't involve swords or hammers, but rather our minds and spirits. What these mythological heroes teach us is that true strength comes from within, from the courage to move forward, even when the path seems dark. The Viking spirit was one of never giving up, and this warrior mentality is something we can apply when facing our own difficulties, whether they are professional, emotional, or personal. Norse culture values resilience and overcoming challenges, believing that the journey is just as important as the destination. Similarly, in our lives, it's crucial to recognize that each obstacle brings with it an opportunity for personal growth and self-discovery. When we find ourselves in difficult situations, such as losing a job or facing an illness, we can channel the warrior spirit of these heroes and believe that, just like them, we too can overcome any adversity. Moreover, the ancestral wisdom of the Norse reminds us that these battles don't have to be faced alone. Just as Thor relied on his allies and Sigurd on his mentors, we too can seek support from our network and our inner strength. Reflecting on these lessons, it becomes clear that Thor, the god of thunder, is an iconic example of how courage in the face of the impossible is a pathway to overcoming challenges. In one of his most famous battles against the giant serpent Jormungandr, Thor knew he was fighting an opponent that would likely bring about his doom, yet he never backed down. Thor's courage was something deeper than physical strength. It was his unwavering confidence in his purpose and his ability to rise again, regardless of the odds. Today, this story resonates with each of us facing challenges that seem larger than we can bear. On the other hand, Sigurd, in slaying the dragon Fafnir, demonstrated that intelligence and strategy can be just as powerful as brute force. He confronted a fearsome adversary, but it was his cunning combined with bravery that led him to victory. Sigurd exemplifies that often our battles are internal. We confront the dragons of fear, doubt, and limitations imposed by circumstances. He shows us that no matter the size of the challenge, with persistence and mental clarity, we can find solutions and triumph. These Norse heroes teach us that true victory is not just about defeating an enemy, but growing with each battle. Just as Thor and Sigurd fought not for glory, but to fulfill their destinies, we too can use every obstacle as a step toward our own growth. Norse mythology, filled with gods and heroes, constantly reminds us that courage and persistence are the true paths to transformation. As we reflect on this, we can realize that, in modern life, the battles we face do not involve hammers or dragons, but emotional, professional, and personal challenges that test our resilience. Thor's strength, for instance, lies in his ability to never give up, even after being defeated. He always rises to fight again, and it is this resilience that we can apply in our daily lives. When things go wrong, whether in a failed project or a relationship that doesn't work, it is that inner strength that allows us to start over. The warrior mindset that these Norse heroes possessed is something we can cultivate in our most challenging moments. Consider Thor, who never wavered from his purpose, even when circumstances seemed grim. Similarly, when we face a series of obstacles, it's easy to feel defeated. However, these moments can be opportunities to strengthen our resilience. A practical example would be adopting a routine of meditation and mindfulness, which helps create mental clarity, allowing us to face adversities with more balance and emotional control. Norse culture teaches us that battles are inevitable, but our attitude toward them defines who we are. By facing life's challenges with courage and persistence, we can turn our failures into personal victories. If we can adopt this mindset of continuous overcoming, we begin to see that, like Thor, there is always a new opportunity to fight and win. As we reflect on these lessons of resilience, we can recognize that the Norse heroes were not just flesh and blood warriors. They were also embodiments of courage and self-confidence. In their journeys, they faced more than physical enemies. They fought battles against their own fears, doubts, and limitations. What can we learn from this? The self-confidence they displayed in adverse situations is something we can incorporate into our daily lives. When things seem difficult, remembering the resilience of these heroes can help us believe in our own capabilities. Moreover, these Norse heroes exhibited a wisdom that transcended mere brute strength. They understood that true courage came from overcoming internal challenges, such as insecurity and fear of failure. When we find ourselves in situations that challenge us mentally or emotionally, we can look to them for inspiration. A good example would be how Thor always faced his opponents with confidence, even knowing the risks. This teaches us that in critical moments, believing in our own potential can make all the difference. Finally, it's essential to acknowledge that the journeys of Norse heroes were not easy, just as ours are not. Each of us has battles to face, but like these heroes, we have the capacity to rise again and keep fighting. Drawing inspiration from them, we realize that self-confidence is not just about believing, but about acting with courage and determination, even when the path is uncertain. As we delve into this ancient wisdom, we can recognize that Thor, the god of thunder, symbolizes persistence and strength. But what truly defines his courage is his ability to rise even in the face of seemingly impossible challenges. In his legendary struggle against the serpent Jormungandr, Thor knew this would be a deadly battle, yet he faced the monster without hesitation. What can we learn from this? True courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to continue even when the outcome is uncertain. Thor teaches us that confronting challenges head-on is the only path to genuine overcoming. Sigurd, the Dragon Slayer, offers another example of courage and persistence. The story of his battle against the dragon Fafnir reveals not only his bravery, but also his ability to plan and execute a victory that seemed impossible. He used his intelligence and courage to defeat an enemy that appeared invincible. In today's world, this teaches us that to conquer our own dragons, the significant problems and obstacles that seem insurmountable, we must combine courage with strategy. The act of confronting fear with a plan in mind gives us an advantage in any situation. These mythological heroes, Thor and Sigurd, not only fought against monsters, but also against the limitations that their circumstances imposed. They symbolize strength of character and persistence in the face of the impossible. In our lives, we can adopt this mentality when we encounter situations that seem insurmountable. They show us that the first step to winning any battle is to believe that victory is possible, even when everything around us suggests otherwise. And as we think about this, we realize that modern life is filled with challenges, and often, it is these moments that test our resilience. Failure is an inevitable part of life, but how we handle it defines who we are. Thor, in facing each enemy, even after falls and defeats, never ceased to get back up and fight again. The same attitude can be applied to our personal and professional lives. When we face a setback, whether in our careers or personal projects, we have the opportunity to choose how we respond. Thor's lesson is clear. Rise, dust yourself off, and keep moving forward. In today's context, this resilience can be practiced in various ways. For example, after losing a job or failing in an investment, instead of sinking into frustration, we can view these situations as learning opportunities. The spirit of persistence that Thor teaches us can be translated into practical action. such as creating a recovery plan or seeking new skills. Just like the god of thunder, who does not let temporary defeats shake him, we can strengthen ourselves with each fall, understanding that failure is merely a part of the journey toward success. Moreover, resilience is not just about physical overcoming. It also encompasses emotional and mental fortitude. In times of uncertainty, it is essential to practice mental clarity and self-care. Mindfulness techniques, for instance, can help us maintain balance amid difficulties. This ability to confront and overcome challenges with a steady and confident mindset is what truly defines a modern warrior. As we reflect on this hero mentality, we realize that the heroes of Norse mythology fought not only with weapons but also with their minds and hearts. The real battle was internal, conquering the doubts and fears that could hinder them from achieving their destiny. When we think about our own lives, these heroes serve as inspiration. They show us that, just like a physical battle, emotional challenges require courage and self-confidence. When faced with our own fears and uncertainties, remembering the resilience of Viking heroes can help us find the strength to move forward. In Norse culture, the personal journey was as significant as victories on the battlefield. This philosophy teaches us that success is not measured solely by external achievements, but also by inner growth. The self-confidence that Thor and Sigurd demonstrated in their stories is something we can apply in our daily lives. For example, when we encounter situations that test our ability to persist, it is this inner confidence that keeps us steady. They understood that it didn't matter how many times they fell. What mattered was always getting back up and continuing to fight. This warrior mindset can be applied to our pursuit of personal development. Each challenge we face, whether in our careers, relationships, or personal goals, is an opportunity for strengthening. By confronting obstacles with courage and resilience, we can become stronger and more self-assured, just like the Norse heroes. As we reflect on this ancestral wisdom, we recognize that now you know the secrets of self-confidence and resilience from the Norse heroes. The question remains, are you ready to apply this in your life? How will you face your challenges starting today? Life presents countless battles, but each one is an opportunity to strengthen yourself and draw closer to your achievements. What is holding you back from starting to train your own inner strength now? The journey of a hero begins with the first step, and it is up to you to take that step today. So, if you are committed to transforming your mindset and living with the courage of Norse heroes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and continue learning with us. In the next video, The Hero's Journey, how Norse culture can transform your life, we will explore even further how these teachings can profoundly impact your personal growth. Don't miss it.